We're coming in. We're coming in. We're coming in.
Right there.
Good. You're live. You're on.
Good evening. This is Rudy Giuliani, and this is the Rudy Giuliani Show on Lindell TV and on X Network. And we are at the Trump International Golf Course in Palm Beach, where they're having a golf tournament and already have finished it, an award ceremony, in order to support, of course, our favorite organization, Tunnel to Towers, T2T.org. Tunnel to Towers was established, way back at the time of September 11 in honor of Stephen Siller, who died rushing into the towers trying to save people on his day off. And his family, the Siller family, immediately began a run that happened within 3 weeks in his honor to recreate the run that he took to the towers, where he could have run away. He ran toward it into the towers, and then that just grew and grew. It helped to fund all of the people who were in need at that time, and then later grew tremendously, so that now it takes care of thousands and thousands of first responders who have been injured or die in the line of duty. It takes care of seriously, catastrophically injured veterans, building homes for them. It is doing everything it can to eliminate homelessness for veterans. We'll talk more. $11 a month.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets.
I'm interrupting this commercial to do something I've never done before. Get 2 MyPillows absolutely free on orders of $100 or more. I can't do this forever, so get on board with this great sale today. Our best-selling 6-piece bath towel sets or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Our famous standard MyPillows only $14.98. Queens $18.98. King size only $1 more. Body pillows $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase $9.98. Save $40 on our spring percale and Giza Dream bed sheet sets. Any size, any color. So go to MyPillow.com or call that number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And when you spend $100 or more, get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
You all know I stand by the truth. And if I put my name on something, I truly believe in it. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce you to something I'm incredibly proud of. My own brand of organic specialty coffee, Rudy Coffee. Believe me when I say it's the best coffee you'll ever try. It's smooth, rich, chocolatey, and gentle on your stomach. It's so good, I even recommend drinking it black. It comes in 3 varieties, including what I promise is the best decaf you'll ever have. You can order now by scanning the QR code on your screen or by visiting rudy.coffee. By supporting Rudy Coffee, you're not just treating yourself to exceptional coffee, you're also supporting our cause, the cause of truth, justice, and American democracy. You'll also be supporting the Call to Action nonprofit, which is devoted to helping veterans and first responders, so you can make a difference and taste the difference by ordering today at rudy.coffee. So let's begin, even though we're in this beautiful area and we'd probably like to talk about golf and lots of other things, and we'll put some of the celebrities on that are here in a little while, or those who want to interrupt their festivities to talk a little serious or not so serious. But I think I am very struck by the fact that the president now is, I guess the ball is in his court, isn't it? The way Putin and the way the Ayatollah have acted, they've basically said, we're not going to do what you told us we had to do, and you told us that there'd be serious consequences if we didn't do it. It's now time for serious consequences, isn't it? Let's take one at a time. The Ayatollah the president a while back had written a letter to and said to the Ayatollah that he would prefer negotiations to war or to military action, and asked him to negotiate. And the response was no direct negotiations with us. They would do some form of ambiguous indirect negotiations, which of course is really an answer, no negotiations. So we must, the president has promised very serious consequences as a result of that, such that they have never seen before. In my humble opinion, that has to be delivered on. And that delivering on that to a very large extent will accomplish a couple of things. First of all, it should aid and accelerate the fall of the reign of terror, the Ayatollah. The fall of the Ayatollah will make peace in the Middle East a possibility. Right now, it's futile, childish, and silly to think that we can have peace as long as the Ayatollah is there. We've been trying to have peace forever. We've engaged in some of the most ridiculous, stupid, insane, self-defeating propositions that you could possibly imagine. From the moment we began the two-state solution, there was no solution. From the moment we started that, we were in a complete stalemate of war after war after war after war, because, in fact, neither country would accept a two-state solution. It was an invention of the warped mind of Bill Clinton, whose ego so much wanted a peace agreement that he came up with a internally contradictory proposition that a country that existed for the purpose of destroying Jews and the state of Israel, and taught their children that from the day they were born, whose religion teaches that, were going to live side by side peacefully with Jews. From the very beginning to the very end, they told them they wouldn't. From the very beginning to the very end, left-wing Americans and some other soft-headed right-wing rhino-type silly people didn't listen. It's, very similar to the people that didn't listen to Hitler, who said, I'm going to take over all of Europe. And then they gave him Europe piece by piece, and then he took the rest. From day one, this singular idiot knew this was absurd. And the first time I heard two-state solution, I lost my temper. This is the stupidest damn thing I ever heard. Not only will the Jews never accept it, and they shouldn't, it would be totally inconsistent with the deepest held beliefs of the Palestinian people, not just Hamas. There was hardly a Hamas then. It was the Palestinian Liberation Organization, eventually Fatah. Arafat was about as vicious, bloodthirsty murderer as we've ever had on this earth, until he turned into an equally greedy thief. And instead of doing the violence, after having killed 27 Americans, he turned it over to Hamas, that did all the killing, and he took all the money. His wife died a multi-billionaire living in the south of France off the money taken from her people. All of that under the watchful eye of Bill Clinton, or non-watchful eye of Bill Clinton, and proposition that had to show you that the people that run our foreign policy and the people who pontificate about it, there's something seriously wrong with them, and has been for some time. Well, the two-state solution has now been blown to smithereens. Again, it should have from the very beginning. And now Hamas and Israel are in the final stages of Israel attempting to wipe out Hamas. But Hamas is a very small part of the story. If Hamas is wiped out and Iran remains the reign of terror, the much more established, gigantic military enterprise called the Islamic State of Iran is just as dedicated to the destruction of the state of Israel as Hamas, except it's on its way to becoming a nuclear power. It also likes to always follow its death to Israel with another statement that I think we should take seriously: death to America. And President Trump has given them now enough rope to hang themselves, and they have. Their last response that they will not negotiate with regard to nuclear is, of course, a challenge now to President Trump doing what he said he was going to do. Should he not, he'll lose a great deal of credibility. And I don't want to see him do that. Similarly, on the Russian side, the president had gotten them to a ceasefire agreement after difficulties first with Zelensky, who I blame for not jumping on it right away. But now that's sort of been corrected by the fact that he has embraced the second suggestion, which is a ceasefire in the Black Sea. Important because the Black Sea is the main access to the sea for both countries. And if they start shooting each other there, they're both blocked from it. It appeared as if there was an agreement, and then Russia began, like earlier Ukraine did, start putting conditions on it or backing away from conditions. First, they wanted all of the sanctions lifted. Well, of course, that was just a malicious attempt to undercut what they had agreed to, because this is just one small ceasefire. You want to argue for all the sanctions being lifted, you got to end the war completely, come to a final solution, come to a peace agreement. How are you ever going to come to a peace agreement if you've lifted all the sanctions? Then, of course, even worse than that, they started increasing or continuing. Increasing may be correct. Increasing their attacks on Ukraine in order to take Kursk back, which they originally succeeded in, and now Ukraine has pushed them back. So in Russia, Kursk is in Russia, they're at war. And then, of course, they also do bombings within Ukraine, and Ukraine has done bombings in return in Russia. So the war is going on, and now the ball was in Putin's court, and he was told that he had to agree to the ceasefire, or we would take very strong action. Well, he hasn't agreed to the ceasefire. They're acting in bad faith. And in their case, what they need is from us to go from sanctions to the maximum sanctions we can apply to an economy that is faltering. It will hurt. It will hurt badly. Putin will go nuts, and he's got to go nuts because he's got to know that there are consequences. He and Xi Jinping will also be very impressed if President Trump, along with Bibi Netanyahu, wiped the living daylights out of Iran's nuclear capacity. It will say that there's not the same absolutely complete rejection of any possibility of using military power like there was under the coward Biden. So, as I said, this is decision time. And specifically, the Ayatollah and Putin are basically calling the president like it's a poker game. You said if we didn't negotiate, there'd be consequences worse than anyone could ever possibly imagine. The Ayatollah, well, okay, let's see. And in Putin's case, you said there would be very serious consequences. Let's see. Honestly, I don't think that anything else will work. If you would like a prediction of this, we could go back 20 plus years to my book, Leadership, and the chapter, Stand Up to Bullies. It has to be done. And the tariff on Russian oil has to be complete, and it has to be executed with tremendous intensity. No exceptions, nothing to get around it, and I think, and instead of there now being a lot of European countries that will undercut us, European countries will cooperate with it. So we're going to we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll finish off on this this topic with one or two further thoughts on it, and then and then we'll move on to a very, very important election that is going to be decided tonight. In fact, one very important and two rather important elections, three. And we'll be back very shortly.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets.
I'm interrupting this commercial to do something I've never done before. Get 2 MyPillows absolutely free on orders of $100 or more. I can't do this forever, so get on board with this great sale today. Our best-selling 6-piece bath towel sets or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Our famous standard MyPillow is only $14.98. Queens, $18.98. King size, only $1 more. Body pillows, $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color. So go to MyPillow.com or call that number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And when you spend $100 or more, get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
Here we are, pretty much at the beginning of the process here at this pristine, I call it a laboratory. It's not like a factory, it's like a hospital. This is the beginning of the process for roasting. Deep grain, very good quality. Most people don't use this quality. We deal with small farmers because they like to know who we're dealing with. They give us the highest quality, all organic, non-GMO. You should know all Arabica beans. No Robusto, all Arabica. They're going to go into the roaster, and it'll get roasted for about 20 minutes or so. Oh my goodness, look at these. My goodness. You're going to want to specially order these. This is what goes into Rudy's coffee.
This is Rudy Giuliani back with you with the Rudy Giuliani Show. So we were talking about the tense situation now in Ukraine and in the Middle East, where the president has to decide his response to the refusals of the Ayatollah and of Putin to comply with his requests. And in the case of Putin, the use of military force when it really isn't necessary any longer, as well as making demands that are way beyond the scope of a limited ceasefire. And in the case of the Ayatollah, the usual refusals to negotiate, and a clear indication with this indirect negotiating that he just wants to buy time. He's playing for time. The more time he can get, the closer he can get to being a nuclear power or a more substantial nuclear power, and the more dangerous it is for the world. The proposition that Iran cannot be a nuclear power is not about Iran. It's about the fact that nuclear power is extraordinarily dangerous, isn't it? I mean, President Trump has been very eloquent on that subject. And if you remember back to Ronald Reagan, he was also. And if you want to be reminded of it, watch the movie Reagan with Dennis Quaid, who I had lunch with yesterday, and you will see that both of those men were able to convey a sense of the awesome responsibility of being able to destroy the world. Now, I'm sure that every president felt that, except Biden, who I don't think could feel anything. But they expressed it more eloquently than others. John Kennedy would have been another that did that. But Ronald Reagan used to say, and I'm sure others did too. I don't imagine this is just peculiar to him, but he used to say about mutually assured destruction, which meant that we felt that we were keeping the peace because Russia could destroy the world and we could destroy the world. Now, who would do that? Well, a madman would do that. And Reagan used to say, and Dennis Quaid does do a piece in the movie about this, that the world shouldn't live on that kind of a proposition. The world shouldn't live on that kind of a understanding. It's an immoral way to preserve the world from destruction, and easily can be undercut by an irrational madman. Well, what the hell do you think the Ayatollah is? Would you like a definition of an irrational madman? Well, look at Ayatollah Khamenei and all of the crooked, insane mullahs around him. They're waiting to go up to heaven and get their 72 virgins. These people should not have nuclear power. No how, no way. And the reluctance and the easy treatment of them for so many years has really made them empowered. And it's time to stop it. It's time to assert the power of Israel and the United States to render them a useless country in terms of military force. I believe it'll lead to the overthrow of the Ayatollah. I believe it'll lead to an interim government. I think that the interim government will be run by Madam Rajavi and the National Council of Resistance to Iran. I think that all of the nonsense with the son of the Shah coming back is just that nonsense, elite rich people's nonsense, so that the same crooks that were running the government before can come back and, be crooks again. The Shah was a vicious, murderous, thieving dictator who was our thieving, murderous, vicious dictator. That was the only benefit. He was put there because he'd be anti-communist, not because he would be humane, decent. He put his people in prisons. He killed his people. He tortured his people, and he stole enormous amounts of wealth from them. His son now wants to take over, and there's every reason to believe that his son would actually leave the Revolutionary Guard in place, who are the people who kill so many Americans. Now, that's how sick our foreign policy can get. And of course, there are people in the State Department that fool around with him. But when you see the ex-Shah, and I know we're a historical culture now, but please read a little history and find out what a miserable, horrible dictator his father was, and what a horrible existence it would be for the Iranian people to go from one set of murderous, thieving dictators to another set. It might be a little better for us, but in the long run, it would probably lead to another Ayatollah. There's an election going on in Wisconsin that would otherwise be of no interest to anyone but the people of Wisconsin, and now is of great interest to everyone in the country. And it's an election for the deciding position on the Wisconsin Supreme Court. The Wisconsin Supreme Court is split 3-3, Republican-Democrat. The Democrat that held the deciding vote has retired. She was extraordinarily left-wing. The court was extraordinarily left-wing. The court was absurdly, crookedly left-wing, including during the 2020 elections, with a decision on election fraud that would make sense to no one but a crooked Democrat. That was completely intellectually dishonest. Basically, that Wisconsin couldn't enforce the laws, which would have led to either a new election or a disqualification of Biden, because they'd be too stringent. Well, it's not my fault if the laws are too stringent. That happens when you cheat. But in any event, this court has been ridiculously Democrat in so many other ways. I'll give you one example. If you're a Catholic, this is going to get you really upset. They took away the tax exemption from Catholic charities. That's right. They took it away from Catholic charities because Catholic charities does charitable work, not religious work. And charitable work means, they take care of people with AIDS. They take care of homeless people. They take care of mothers who want to have their children rather than have an abortion. They do all of those things are not religious. the way in which they have defined religion, the left-wing communist court that they want to now empower with a majority. The name of the case, it was Hosanna Tabor, and the way the Wisconsin Supreme Court puts it is, you get the religious exemption if you primarily engage in distinctively religious activities like worship, religious outreach, ceremony, or religious education. That does not include charitable activity. There was no attempt to imbue the program participants with the Catholic faith, nor supply any religious material. It was not operated primarily for religious purposes, said the Wisconsin court. The activities are secular in nature. And now, on Monday, the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court heard argument in Catholic Charities Bureau versus Wisconsin to reverse that. And I think it will be reversed. I think it's absolutely ridiculous to say that doing charity is not particularly part of the Christian or Catholic religion. The founder of that religion instructed them to do that. In fact, the founder of that religion told them that was their only way to heaven. When they asked him how to get to heaven, he pointed to the poor and the weak and the blind, and then he said, you know, he that takes care of the least of my brethren takes care of me. So the way to God, although it is there are several that are pointed out by Jesus in the Gospels. There is of course. The only way to God is through Jesus, but the way through Jesus is to be good to Jesus's people. And what about the corporal works of mercy? You know, visit the sick, visit the imprisoned. Those are not strictly what one would think of as religious worship, but they're religious duties. Their decision of the Wisconsin Supreme Court is the typical ignorant liberal decision about religion. I don't mean about believing it. I mean about understanding it. They're stupid. For you to say that Catholic Charities is not entitled to a tax exemption because taking care of the poor is not a religious activity. It's not within going to communion is, but taking care of the poor isn't. I'm sorry, you don't understand the religion. You've never bothered to read the gospel. You've never bothered to read the history of Christianity or the history of Judaism or the history of anything else, probably. I mean, Karl Marx told you it wasn't necessary. Well, that's essentially what they want to do. They want to make this court a court that consistently renders decisions like that. Decisions that allow children to be mutilated without the consent of their parent. Decisions that allow men to go into ladies' bathrooms, decisions that allow men to participate in women's sports. And they have a particular law that they want to change. It's a law that was passed by Governor Walker, I believe it was in 2011, that basically says that if you're a government employee, you can decide whether you want to be a member of the union. You are not commanded by the government to be a member of the union. I mean, you could have said you weren't a member of the union, but they'll take the money out anyway. And they'll use the money to support candidates you don't agree with. Well, that law was changed. They don't have the votes in the Wisconsin legislature, which is Republican, to change it. And the woman left-wing wackadoodle that's running, Susan Crawford, has promised to overturn that. She's also promised to make sure that the Congress becomes Democrat again, which means they want to do an illegal, unfair, ridiculously partisan redistricting, which they can do. And she believes that she can get back 2 Democratic seats as a result of that. So this is not about the law. This is about the left-wing Democrat Marxist agenda to destroy God, to destroy parents, to get parents out of the lives of children, to make children the property of the state, and to create the dominance of a one-party Democratic state by doing an illegal redistricting. And they're pretty open about it. They're pretty open about doing it, and they've put millions in, most of it coming from the guy who probably is the cause of more murder than any particular person in the United States, and that's George Soros, who spent the last 10 years making sure we have district attorneys, about 80 of them, that turn criminals back out on the street and allow protesters to burn buildings down and go free. George Soros is funding this woman so that she can do more in the effort to destroy the Constitution of the United States and to destroy the rights of Americans, particularly Americans that are foolish enough to be religious. After all, we were, according to Attorney General Gardoodle, we were terrorists if we believed in the Catholic religion. So I hope that the people of Wisconsin understand what's at stake here. And it also a fair election is at stake here because the Democratic court, as Democratic courts throughout the country have indicated, will do anything, including illegal things, constantly to make certain that Trump is either out of power or if he is in power, that he can't achieve his agenda. The injunctions, the current injunctions, are a good indication of that. They're all by Democrat judges. There are what, 70 or 80 of them, and I think all but 1 or 2 are Democrat judges. And I think the others were appointed by Bush, the 1 or 2 Republicans. Well, we're going to take a short break as I see Ted is walking around worried about rain. We never worry about rain. This is a new one for us, except maybe when we do it on my deck, right? Okay. All right. Let's see what happens. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. See if the rain comes, right?
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets.
I'm interrupting this commercial to do something I've never done before. Get 2 MyPillows absolutely free on orders of $100 or more. I can't do this forever, so get on board with this great sale today. Our best-selling 6-piece bath towel sets or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Our famous standard MyPillows only $14.98. Queens $18.98. King size only $1 more. Body pillows $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bed sheet sets. Any size, any color. So go to MyPillow.com or call that number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And when you spend $100 or more, get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
You all know I stand by the truth. And if I put my name on something, I truly believe in it. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce you to something I'm incredibly proud of. My own brand of organic specialty coffee, Rudy Coffee. Believe me when I say it's the best coffee you'll ever try. It's smooth, rich, chocolatey, and gentle on your stomach. It's so good, I even recommend drinking it black. It comes in 3 varieties, including what I promise is the best decaf you'll ever have. You can order now by scanning the QR code on your screen or by visiting rudy.coffee. By supporting Rudy Coffee, you're not just treating yourself to exceptional coffee, you're also supporting our cause, the cause of truth, justice, and American democracy. You'll also be supporting the Call to Action nonprofit, which is devoted to helping veterans and first responders, so you can make a difference and taste the difference by ordering today at rudy.coffee.
I hear every day about the products you all wish MyPillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard MyPillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
This is Rudy Giuliani back with you on the Rudy Giuliani Show. So the election in Wisconsin we talked to you about. The other 2 elections are in Florida. One is to replace he was Congressman Walz. He's now the National Security Advisor to the President of the United States. And I'm trying to see. I don't think they close until 8 o'clock, so I don't think we're going to have any live results yet. Let's just take a look. In one district, in the 1st congressional district, which is the one that was held by Matt Gaetz, Jimmy Petronis is running as the Republican against Democrat Gay Valamont. And Petronis is the state's chief financial officer. He has President Trump's endorsement. It's a 10-person primary, so it's not like a I guess it's a non party vote, and he is the biggest gun control advocate, and he actually challenged Gaetz for the vote in November, and he got 34%. So they think he's going to win. He seems to be considered safe, maybe not by the same numbers that Trump won, but by very good numbers. The second one is going to be a little bit closer. That is in Walz's old 6 districts, and that's in basically sort of the center of Florida in Osceola, Brevard County, Osceola, the Palm Coast. He won a primary with Trump's endorsement on January 28th. That's Senator Randy Fine, who's running against Democrat Josh Weil, a public educator who is in Osceola County. And he was leading by a very, very good margin. But then this has become a 40, 50, possibly more $1 million campaign. And Fine has been losing ground to Weil in the last. I'm trying to see if are there any early indications. I mean, these have both been Republican counties. I mean, Gates's county has been Republican county for 60 years. Almost every area of the county, almost every area of the county is Republican. The other is a little closer. It includes Daytona Beach, where the race is. The Republican presidential candidates have covered that county and won it in the last 4 years. One county in that district with the closer race hasn't voted Republican since Franklin Roosevelt hasn't voted Democrat since Franklin Roosevelt in 1944. So we'll be watching those very, very closely because, in a way, both the Supreme Court election in Wisconsin and the 2 elections in Florida involve the very narrow margin in the House of Representatives, which is critical to whether President Trump can achieve his agenda, particularly in the second half of his first term. Second term. We'll have to see how much he can get done now. I think that's the reason why they pulled Elise Stefanik from the United Nations, which was really kind of a shame. But it looks like the rain is holding up. So I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to take a chance and see if I can get Dr. Maria to join me, which means we got to set up another. Or do we want to wait until we safely go inside?
Let's take a break and come right back.
We'll take a break, and we'll be right back. Shall we put her on?
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets.
I'm interrupting this commercial to do something I've never done before. Get 2 MyPillows absolutely free on orders of $100 or more. I can't do this forever, so get on board with this great sale today. Our best-selling 6-piece bath towel sets or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Our famous standard MyPillows only $14.98. Queens $18.98. King size only $1 more. Body pillows $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bed sheet sets. Any size, any color. So go to MyPillow.com or call that number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And when you spend $100 or more, get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
You all know I stand by the truth. And if I put my name on something, I truly believe in it. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce you to something I'm incredibly proud of. My own brand of organic specialty coffee, Rudy Coffee. Believe me when I say it's the best coffee you'll ever try. It's smooth, rich, chocolatey, and gentle on your stomach. It's so good, I even recommend drinking it black. It comes in 3 varieties, including what I promise is the best decaf you'll ever have. You can order now by scanning the QR code on your screen or by visiting rudy.coffee. By supporting Rudy Coffee, you're not just treating yourself to exceptional coffee, you're also supporting our cause, the cause of truth, justice, and American democracy. You'll also be supporting the Call to Action nonprofit, which is devoted to helping veterans and first responders, so you can make a difference and taste the difference by ordering today at rudy.coffee.
I hear every day about the products you all wish MyPillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard MyPillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bed sheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rudy Giuliani back again with the Rudy Giuliani Show at the Trump International Golf Course. And as I told you, there's a golf tournament here for Tunnels to Towers, and Dr. Maria, who you know well, and there's my good friend John Houvain.
Yes, John.
Has been inside the
Tunnel to Towers.
The Tunnel to Towers,
Yep.
And I guess it was the award ceremony and the auction.
Right? I think he did very well. People were extremely generous. Some very unique gifts, some jewelry, beautiful jewelry, and Michael Reagan, a 10-person private tour, not only of the Presidential Ronald Reagan Library, but of the ranch. That would be something I wanted, but it was well out of my range.
well, I mean, the ranch is beautiful.
Yes, I know you've been there.
I was there. Actually, the last time I was there was to deliver Mrs. Reagan a copy of a letter from Bibi Netanyahu thanking her or thanking her husband for Star Wars that resulted in the Iron Dome.
Saved a lot of lives.
And the final conclusion of it, as best I can remember it, was that if it wasn't for your husband, a lot of Israelis would be dead today who were not. And it made her, as you would imagine, cry. And it made her very happy. Because if you remember from the movie that we just saw the other night, right?
Yep.
He walked out of Reykjavik rather than submit to Gorbachev's demand that he give up Star Wars.
He was definitely driven by values and what was right. And there's a time to negotiate and there's a time to walk away. And he made that brave decision. There was so much pressure on him, meaning President Ronald Reagan at the time, make a deal, negotiate. And he said, no, I want this Iron Dome for the people of Israel. So there's no negotiation. And he walked out.
Yeah,
I think Nancy was very proud of him. I think she talked about that, right?
Nancy was actually urging him to do it because his ratings were very bad at the time because of Iran-Contra. And as they show in the movie, his Secretary of State wanted him to do it.
You mean negotiate?
Yeah. Give up.
Yeah.
Give up Star Wars, and then you'll have a big reduction in nuclear arms. And basically, Gorbachev was caving in on everything else. They didn't realize, because our intelligence has always been so bad, they didn't realize until Gorbachev explained this afterwards, that was the key to winning the Cold War. Once that happened, Gorbachev went crazy. He couldn't afford Star Wars. And his people told him, it's his people, like the Democrats. I mean, Biden thought, of course, it was foolish. It couldn't be done. That should have told you that it could be done. Schumer was very much, they were all against it. Gorbachev's people told him they're the most creative people in the world, meaning Americans. If it can be done, they can do it.
God bless America.
And they've got, the Russians said this to him, and they got the money to do it, and we don't. And Gorbachev said, well, then God damn it, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
And I can't. And then he gave in 9 months later, all of Reagan's demands plus the freedom to do Star Wars, which he did. And now Trump wants to take it to a new level and create because now the weapons are, of course, much more sophisticated than they were then.
That's right,
So
and they go farther.
So you need a much more expensive, a much more sophisticated Iron
Mayor,
Dome.
is it true
Golden
that
Dome.
Yes, the president, meaning President Trump, wants it for the United States as
Correct.
well? Yes,
He wants to be. He's building it. He's beginning to build it. In fact, I met someone who's working on it, and they're enormously excited about it. And boy, do we need it. I don't know, Doctor, but it is amazing because you and I think, grew up in an America where I think we both probably thought a few years ago that anti-Semitism was a thing of the past.
absolutely,
Like
Rudy.
some kind of a sick,
Absolutely.
sick ancient hatred that never made any sense.
It was only in the history books to me that it was in the past, in World War II. I never thought, naively so, I guess, that it was in the United States of America.
Yeah, well, we now have a third president of Colombia, and they are struggling mightily with anti-Semitism. They got people demonstrating today. They were burning their diplomas from Colombia because Colombia is they say caving into the president by not allowing supporters of Hamas to burn down buildings. I mean, what has happened to us?
No one argues against free speech for American citizens, peaceful free speech. Nobody's arguing about that. But some of these people, number one, aren't United States citizens. Number two, they're causing destruction. It is not a peaceful protest when you burn buildings, lock yourselves in buildings, but harass with hate speech and terrorizing Jewish students. That is not freedom of speech.
No, that's action, and it's illegal action, and it's never been considered freedom of speech, and it is complete idiocy that it's being used that way. And almost all Democrat judges support that proposition. Almost all Democrats support that proposition, and you got Schumer, who is the highest-ranking Jewish elected member of Congress, who is hiding and unwilling to bring to the floor of the Senate a vote against anti-Semitism to set up structures to help quell anti-Semitism that has passed the House by a bipartisan vote. Democrats have voted for it in the House, and he refuses to have the Senate vote on it. What kind of damn traitor is he?
Why does he keep getting voted in? I keep asking
Because
you, the people
of
that
my state are
you can
brainwashed,
fight,
of my
you
former
can
state.
really change. But I know Mayor Giuliani is going to get off air a little bit early. The rain is coming. His staff is going to move the set. And don't forget to continue tuning in for America's Mayor Live here on X and also Newsmax 2.
We will be back very shortly in about 8 minutes, 9 minutes on X. And we're going to sign off now so that they can move this to a place where all of our equipment doesn't get washed away. Good night, and God bless America.